It's 44,447 SD. 2 years ago, a cult called the Purity of Light devastated Nortender, believing they would usher in the return of a benevolent god. A corporal named Tahar put an end to their doing. You're Erev, a former general of the Nortandian army. As you spent the past 12 years stationed in Imperia, a country far from your homeland, the Purity Wars passed you by. You don't mind. You had your own shadows to chase. It's been 3 years since you lost your regiment and the Empyrean village, but the nightmares still haunt you. Night after night, you jolt awake, drenched in sweat, pulse hammering against your wrists. Even though your mind does its best to suppress and distort the memories, a part of you is aware that you probably deserve it. It's your fault. You know that much. But why? One day, you decide to see a dreamweaver in hopes of finding an answer. Probably a bunch of hogwash, but the drowning will clutch at a straw.
What is this? Where are we?
In your dream, Erev, as I told you. You allowed me to enter it so that I can help you.
Wait. This is the desert? But it looks nothing like the real place.
Because your mind is aware. This world is an interpretation of the events. To your dreaming self, it looks just like the real one. Now, tell me, what happened that day?
But I told you, I can't remember. My memory, it's all foggy, warped.
Even so, try.
There was a battle. The Dawn Reaper orcs had been terrorizing Imperia for years. This was Judgment Day. I was on my way to an outpost in the desert to meet my division.
You won.
The first battle, yes. That's when things get muddy.
2 years later, though no one told you the reason for your recall, you saw it as a chance to turn the page, back to Nortender, after 10 years in Imperia. A fresh start, away from it all. Now, your visit to the Dreamweaver is long past. You have crossed the Sea of Dreams and are traveling with Ambassador Jarrus, the right hand of the Queen, whose mission is to escort you to Greykeep, where you will finally learn why you've been ordered back.
Wake up, General!
Huh? What's going on? Where am I?
Nortander, the Golden Road, to be more precise. You dozed off.
As you descend the weathered ladder, the air ripe with moss and earth, weariness overcomes you. When you boarded the ship, you had hoped to leave war and fighting behind you, at least for a while. Seems like you were wrong. As you resume your journey, the caravan marches in silence. Dwarves? Never before has there been animosity between Windwall and Nortender. You are pulled from your thoughts as Greyfell's silhouette appears on the star-speckled horizon. 3 hours later, you lie down in your new bed in the keep. The Queen requested to see you at dawn tomorrow. Sleep closes over you like a leaden door.
General Erev?
Yes? Who?
Iria Alathiel, First Mage of the Circle.
12 years. Has it really been that long since you last stepped through this gilded archway, when the Queen sent you to Imperia? It feels like another life.
They're here.
Your Majesty, I present Circle Mage Iria Alathiel and General Erev.
Take a knee.
Your Majesty.
Thank you. Rise. The audience is concluded.
War after war has scarred Fiora. altering the tides of power across much of the continent. In Nortender, a fragile hope for peace drives the efforts to rebuild a ravaged kingdom. A new beginning dawns for the Morhir, as their new settlement finally takes shape, while the orcs realize the dream of the great Khal in Bargagor. The dwarves carry on in their stronghold below the mountains, and the exalted Father rules quietly over the dark elven swamps. It is an era of change, of redefining the old and discovering the new. 2 days into your journey to Windwall, a storm at the Gate of Kings forces your cohort to a halt. You withdraw into a nearby village, where you wait for it to pass. On the 5th day, you arrive at the Hallett-Windwall border. According to your map, Draycott is near.
Where's
General Erev?
Corporal, just in time.
Well, that answers my question.
Mayor Heretier said that our workers and yours should join together to reinforce the outpost.
Ah, I see. Aye, I can do that. Best we start with that old trading post over there. With your help, we could turn it into our base of operations.
Sounds good. Corporal, send in the workers.
Will do.
Well, I'll be damned. You did it. Grand, General. Grand.
Thank Kurga and the Earthshapers. Now we can move back into the valley and retake the town.
Right. And send those buggers back into the mountains where they belong. Not an easy task. According to the scouts, the Windholmers didn't just dig into Draycott when they pushed us out. They also spread out over the whole area. Defensive outposts, in other words. Lots of them. And of course, that means they'll have scout and troops patrolling the area too. Even with your support, I doubt they'd hesitate to teach us a lesson. The scouts also mentioned they noticed several new defensive towers spread out all over. That'll be a pain.
Just like Draycott, the mine is in a state of ruin. Carefully stacked ore chests and barrels have been broken open and plundered. Shovels and pickaxes lie scattered on the ground.
Well fought, human.
Boy, Nihal. Rugrim. What's the meaning of this?
Oh, well. Here he comes.
The journey back to Greykeep is uneventful. At the nightly campfires, you overhear your men discussing the events of your mission. While there is anger and disbelief, there's also something else. Fear. Only 3 years have passed since the last war. You can't allow another. Light rain falls from an overcast sky as you and the Black Company leave the Greyfell walls behind you. It continues for days. The lands are enfolded in a strange half-light, as though the sun has lost part of its vigor. Still, there's a sense of awakening all around you. Children play on the village streets. Farmers work their acres with weary but content faces. Maybe the Queen was right, you think, as you retire to your tent after the first day's journey. Maybe this is the cusp of a new era. Sleep comes quickly. You bolt awake. Save for the chirping of cicadas and the crackling of the brazier in your general's tent, there's silence. With a sigh, you let yourself fall back into your bed, trying to make sense of what just happened. An hour later, just as the blackbirds and swamp pheasants start their song, you get up and take a walk through the quiet camp. The same day, in the early afternoon hours, you arrive at the border of the Laranian Swamp. According to the maps, the village where the occurrence took place is near.
Here we are, the Laranian Swamp.
Yours breath. Are they all...
Siphoned, yes. Just as I expected.
Guardians. Now what? Are they going to transform too?
We should prepare for the worst. Let's...
The light, feed the light. The Black One carries the mirror.
Did you hear that?
Yes. One of them is still alive.
While you were busy up here, we've set up an outpost in the south. Not much, but a place to start.
And as I said, we also raised a spire of souls to harvest Echo. Now, since we're up against Dark Elves, we should prepare for heavy and regular attacks. Nor's children aren't known for their lack of resolve. You're calling the shots, of course. But if I were in your position, I'd be particularly careful with those small winding paths. My spectres said the Dark Elves have set up ambushes there. On the bright side, we were able to locate their base. You brought a map, didn't you? Here, I'll mark it for you. And that's about it. I'll be at the outpost should you have any further questions. Now, let's prepare for one hell of a fight, because that's what we're getting.
You cast one last look over your shoulder as you leave the Laranian swamp behind you. As though touched by the hands of a corpse, an icy cold crawls down your neck. The Horde, the god of light, it's evident that they are connected. But how? For the first time in weeks, the sun breaks through the cloud-covered sky. You turn your horse around to catch up with your soldiers. At night, you lay awake for hours before exhaustion finally overwhelms you. Samsa's words echo in your thought as you fall into a dreamless slumber. The light. Feed the light. The Black One carries the mirror.
Your Majesty?
Rara Hellstone, rise.
With autumn sun to warm your skin and a breeze on your back, the journey to the Howling Steppes is surprisingly pleasant. You sleep better than you have in months, and as you arrive at the border, you feel almost rejuvenated. The clean air, the vastness, inhospitable as the steppes may be, there is a certain peace to them. All the more surprising then, as the wind carries a stench towards you as you close in on the Aliani village.
Here we are, the Howling Steppes.
As inviting as a crypt. Is it just me, or does it smell like undead arse here? Ugh.
You're right, it does. Come on, let's take a look around. The village is just up ahead. By the... See that?
Huh? Just what I'd expect from an outsider.
Zoema, what's going on here?
Kayawu. Blessings. The world has blessed us with outsiders again.
According to our scouts, they have 4 commanders. One of them, a man named Cedric, being their leader. Apart from him, each commander is in charge of one of their camps. You should find him there. Cedric himself, on the other hand, moves around a lot, probably to ascertain everything in the camp is going to his liking. Always be on the lookout. Well, and that is all I can tell you. I wager that if you tear down their main encampment, the rest will flee. Good luck, General Erev.
I guess you know already that it's not the beetles causing the fog, but those fungi. They corrupt whatever they grow on. Which means, who would have thought, that you have to destroy all the fungi on a patch of land to clear it from fog and rot. The beetles feed off the shroom's spores, so they'll protect them like their own eggs. However, going on a mushroom purge alone won't do the trick. One of my scouts found out that they're all connected to a kind of a mother shroom in the east. As long as that fat, nasty old lady keeps breathing her spores, the fungi in the areas you clear will simply pop right back up after a while. In other words, clear the sector where Mama Fungus grows, build an outpost, and have your workers shredded to pieces. And presto, fog, beetles, and fungi go back to the dank place they came from. It won't be easy, though, as you can expect the beetles to defend their symbionts. You need to make sure they don't get the better of whatever flying unit you send to destroy the shrooms.
Let us begin with a question. What do you know about Sheogded already? The one you call the God of Light?
It's an entity from another reality that wants to re-enter our world. Probably to devour it, like it tried to last time.
One statement, 3 misconceptions. First of all, Sheogdead does not come from another dimension. It comes from the place where all dimensions converge, a place between dream and reality, the City of Light. Second, while it's true its arrival will put an end to all living beings, existence will arise anew. Sheogdead destroys to allow for creation. It clears to make room for the new. And finally, Sheogdead does not want. It has no will because it is a consequence, a law of nature, and this law is Jagu.
For 5 days, you ride under an overcast sky. One night, sitting by the campfire, Rera offers you and your companions a sip of brandy. She tells you about her life as a privateer, her return to Windwall, and about Arakys' rise to power. The worst about people like him, she says, her eyes drift off, almost as though she is talking to herself, is that they claim to speak for all of us, but he doesn't. We'll make sure he understands that. As though descending down the different layers of Earth, every twist and turn of the tower's spiral staircase reveals a new facet of the Dwarven city. First, the granite manors of the nobility, then the bustling, cramped maze that is the craftsman district. Finally, the shattered houses of the mud dwellers. By the time you reach the catacombs entrance, you've left the populated parts of Windholme well behind you. This is it, says Rera, and nods towards an ornamented archway. Are you ready? While Rera is quiet as you climb up the tunnel, the way her jaw flexes and her lips press into a white line speak a different language. You're not fooling yourself. Much depends on the success of this heist. No rebellion has been won without money and weapons.
Nihal's hammer! Intruders! Call the overseer!
Bloody waste of time. Spiders have probably eaten them already. Oh, an order's an order.
Damn it. Hear that? Guards.
Aye. They've blocked off the exit. Stones. Let's look for another exit. Let me think. Aye, that might work.
Fill us in.
There's another set of abandoned tunnels that leads deeper down into the caves. It's dangerous, but probably less dangerous than squaring up against Arakys' entire army.
All right. Then let's find these tunnels and get out of here.
The dwarves once maintained an underground empire that spanned from Wulfgar to Lar, its massive cities connected by hundreds of miles of carefully hewn tunnels. At its heart was Windholme, the blaze of its forges and the pounding of its hammers giving birth to the greatest dwarvian crafts on Io. Today, the empire is no more, but like the mountains above it, the capital city remains, a living monument to glory long gone.
Rera, what the hell happened? There were guards all over the city.
It's been taken care of, including Commander Rugrim, the leader of the Granite Guard. Tell your men to get a cart. We've got plenty of loot.
Not bad, little sister. Not bad. You there, get a cart. Tell me what happened. Everything.
As you make your way towards Greykeep, the Wolf Guard is in high spirits. Not only was the mission a full success, you were relieved to find the Blackstone rebels getting along well with the men and women of the Wolf Guard. Allies, you think with a smile as your cohort of humans and dwarves crosses the city gates, riding past baffled guards. You can use them. As Wraith orders the cohort to a sudden stop after a 2-day journey through the swamps of Lar, you cast him a questioning glance. He points to a mountain in the distance, towering towards the white-blue sky. We're here. A moment passes before you notice the opening at the foot of the mountain, like a crack in the hull of an insect's egg. If there's information on those masked elves, then this is where we'll find it, he says as he steers his horse around and makes for Cahlabrok.
I didn't think I'd ever come back here. At least not so soon.
How long has it been?
4 years. This is it.
There's no one here.
He'll be here in a minute. Let's...
Brother! How long has it been?
Not long enough.
Further down the stairs, you come to a portcullis. As you turn the crank controlling it, you notice Wraith standing motionless, an expression on his face as though looking at a faraway landscape. He frowns as your eyes meet. "Let's find the vinculum," he says, and walks past you. Amidst the spindly trees and waterlogged decay, signs of the Fleshkin's takeover of the mire are everywhere. A row of sharpened sticks, some adorned with the heads of vanquished enemies and animal carcasses, demarcate the orcs' territory. The trickle of sunlight on the peat moss is the only splash of cheer against the stench of rotted wood and fermented bog. In silence, you follow the orc to a big cave. "Onwards," he says, and nods towards the entrance, showing no intention of guiding you. What follows is a long and solitary descent into its depths. The stalagmites like teeth, the air cold and foul like a sickly breath. Finally, torches flicker in the distance, and there's the din of a crowd.
Now, would you look at that? More pale-skinned challengers, huh? You've come for the riches, haven't you? I'm afraid that didn't turn out so well for your brethren that came before you.
Norse claws, striders. Watch out for their spears.
Tiara's breath, what is that?
An emissary of Nor, flying necromancy. Don't give it time to resurrect any of those corpses here, or else we're up against a swarm.
There she is, brethren. The one who was sent to us by Zarak. The one who remains unbeaten after a moon of trying. The one who will, at my side, elevate our kind to a new era. The Blood Princess.
So that's Zerobi.
Pale bloods. Not what I was expecting.
We came here for you. Your father, Catrus, is...
What are you waiting for? Fight!
Sorry, but I can't risk blowing my cover. You shouldn't have come here. Claws.
Blazes, we want to help you. Just surrender and we'll talk outside.
No! Don't you dare! Don't you dare harm her! Get her out of there, now!
But the trying demands.
I don't care about the trying. I'll tear your goddamn head off and stick it up your ass if you don't get her out of there now!
Yes, Chieftain.
No, don't!
Gone.
What are you staring at? Get out of here now! We'll settle this on the battlefield, Paleskin. No one hurts my Blood Princess and gets away with it.
General, what happened? We heard fighting from down in the cave.
Long story. Tell our men to set up camp now. We're in for a fight.
Understood. What about Zerobi, the boss's daughter?
She's wounded but alive. We had to fight her, after which the orcs abducted her. As I said, long story. Where's their camp? Do you know?
Oh, of course. We did some scouting already. The orcs have their Khal on a plateau up in the northwest. I'd wager that's where they took the boss's daughter too. There are also plenty of patrols all over the swamp, so we should keep that in mind when coming up with a battle plan. And we even sighted some armored wyvern. So we should be on the lookout and train some archers to fend them off. And while I probably don't need to tell you this, we should expect heavy attacks. You know how orcs are. Hit them in the face and they hit back twice as hard. Their leader, the one with the stupid moniker, is probably in their cow.
There she is. You have a lot of explaining to do. Any word on when Catrus will...
Sarobi! Bloody hell, what did they do to you?
Hello? Can you hear us?
For the first few days of your journey back to Greykeep, Catrus is withdrawn and quiet. But the more distance you put between yourselves and the Laranian swamps, the more he returns to his cheerful self. On one evening, with Greykeep looming in the distance, you find him surrounded by a group of Wolf Guard soldiers and Black Company mercenaries, regaling them with wild tales of his past adventures. Even Iria, who until this point had kept her distance, shakes her head and smiles. The journey to Old-Hâlu starts off well, but soon becomes arduous. The hot, humid air of the leaf-shade forest covers your skin in sweat, so that you quickly feel as though you're traveling wrapped in wet blankets. As you retire to your tent on the third day of your journey, you slip into a deep dream. Like before, you spend the rest of the night staring at the ceiling. As the reveille sounds, you're the first back to the horses. Halfway through the day's journey, you pass a village, bathed in crimson from the autumn leaves. Still weary from the lack of sleep, you don't realize that something's amiss until one of your soldiers returns from within the palisades, skin pale, lips trembling. The Crescent. You follow the man to the town square, where the villagers stand gathered, frozen, their eyes devoid of life. They were siphoned. Sergeant Rolkin falls into step beside you. "We better find these corrupted, General," he says. "We better find them fast." Old-Hâlu. Almost every seasoned adventurer has a tale or two to tell about the Hibernian ruins and the treasures that supposedly lie within. They are dark tales, filled with the danger of ancient magic and the lure of untold riches. None who venture there and back can quite explain the sense of unease that permeates the place. Perhaps it's the legacy of an early grave, or the silence of a dead civilization. Or perhaps it is even the temple itself. While the Wolf Guard is in good spirits, thanks to the success of your mission, for you, the journey back to Greykeep turns into an arduous trial. The nightmares are back. Again and again, you find yourself in your study in Imperia, hands ablaze, your skin melting off like wax. Seconds later, you're awake and screaming. As you try to make sense of the nightmares, your thoughts keep returning to your encounters with the strange light figure. The light. Feed the light. As you enter the Hall of Justice, a queasy feeling arises in your stomach. Part nervousness, part premonition. Whether it's from the immense energy radiating off the turquoise staff Wraith carries wrapped in an embroidered piece of cloth, or because of the significance of this place, you cannot say. This is where Rondar Lacane started Jakku by letting the God of Light enter our world. And it's here that you'll put an end to it.
Good. I think I'm ready.
Then do it. Find the corrupted.
I will.
Tiara's breath. That energy. Wraith, can you see them?
I'm trying. Yes. Yes, there's one. That's her. That's the masked woman.
Where is she? Where are they hiding?
I'm still... Nor's claws. She's here, General. The masked woman is here.
What? What the?
No! No! She's draining. Ah!
Rich harvest. Deal with them.
Sleepers!
I think we did it. It's over.
And the Jade Staff is gone.
As you reach King's Vantage, you find it in a state of chaos. 3 Wolfguard fight 2 sleepers under the pavilion, and a group of soldiers struggle with a pack of siphoned harrying them. Adrenaline lending you speed, you make for the throne room.
To the Queen! Quick!
Your Majesty.
They are dead.
Is that
Commander Reinhold?
the commander who led the caravan that got ambushed? He's behind this?
Behind what? Talk to me, General. What happened in the Hall of Justice?
A lot.
So the staff is destroyed? And we still do not know the identities or whereabouts of the corrupted?
Well, I saw something. But the memory is gone. We can only hope that it comes back.
Even if it does, the staff's energy filled the Horde of Souls to the brim. Whatever the Crescent is planning to do with it, they'll do it a lot sooner than expected.
And you let them in. You let the masked woman into Greykeep.
The air is still, and the sky a piercing blue. There's silence among the Wolfguard as you ride towards King's Crossing. Previously, the Crescent were a shrouded threat, silhouettes moving in the dark. Now, they've stepped out from the shadows and taken the fight to your home.
General, thank the Guardians you're here. What about the Queen? Is she safe?
She's safe and we found the traitor. What's the situation? Any sign of the Crescent?
Any sign? They're everywhere. We haven't found their lair yet, but it can't be far. The forests are dense, but we know them, and they don't. The only problem, the crossing is enormous. We need to gain ground and expand fast before the Crescent gets too powerful. Speaking of power, I'm worried about the locals. Chances are they'll try to siphon them. There are 3 places in particular which I think they will target. Lando, a small village, King's Crossing's trading post, and the big fishery down by the river. We also noticed some of their portals showing up all over the forest. So we have to be on the lookout. My guess is that they're using them and the siphon they spawned to cover their retreat. The bridge up north that collapsed during the Purity Wars might be worth looking into to give us more attack routes. But we need to fix it before we can use it. Yeah, and that's about it. I don't need to tell you that we should expect heavy attacks. You learned that lesson in the Laranian Swamp.
As you descend into the old tomb, you feel a faint tingle on the back of your hand, as if brushed by a breeze of magic. It gets stronger the deeper you go. The Horde of Souls, imbued with the Jade Staff's magic, its energy is staggering in its vastness.
Your Majesty?
Interesting. So you're capable of more than wielding a scepter?
This ends now.
No. No, it doesn't.
Gone. Damn it. Your Majesty. How did you...
I came as soon as I could. Let us head back to Greykeep. We have a lot to discuss.
On your journey to the cave where you are to meet the man from Imperia, your nightmares become worse than ever before. The evening before your arrival, you don't bother trying to sleep at all, but go for a walk around a nearby lake instead. The sun's half over the horizon as you come back, flooding the camp with a reddish light the color of blisters. Your soldiers, you think as the sentry greets you with a tired nod, they trust you. Kieran is dead, and with him, the last connection to the incident in Imperia. Still, you leave Windwall with a leaden feeling in your chest. 2 days later, you're back in Greykeep, reading over Sergeant Rolkin's most recent reports. 2 more Nortandian villages siphoned. A knock on the door pulls you from your thoughts. Rera. Have a second, General? You follow her. Windholme has changed. The roads, once bustling with travelers and traders from all nations, are empty. The trading posts, deserted. 10 miles from Windwall, you pass a gallows where a dwarven woman and an elven man have been strung up, their mouths stuffed with pebbles. Gravel eaters. While the Blackstone rebels meet the sight with roars, Rera rides in silence. Hours later, you reach Windholme Mountain, towering into a crystal-clear blue sky. Strangely enough, no guards have stopped your army's approach. They are preparing.
Just like we thought. They're expecting us. I hope you're ready for a bloody battle, General, because that's what we're getting. Ultimately, it's simple. We need to crush through their defense. However, since it's the dwarven army we're up against, it'll be one hell of a defense. That the only way into the city, and thus their base, is a single, comparably narrow bridge won't make it any easier. The only real piece of advice I can offer is to use our flying units. They aren't limited by the passages and chasms. And the tunnels, of course. The Bastion has a couple of them all over the cave. If we claim a sector and don't destroy the tunnel, the Windholmers will use it to send troops through and take it back. And already they're scurrying off like bloody rats. Cowards.
Hold on. I don't think they're fleeing. They're reorganizing.
Dust and stones! It's a spirit of the mountain! Kill it! Dust and stones? What happened here?
That's a lot of corpses.
But Malik wasn't... No matter. We need to find Arakys. Go.
As if the castle walls shut out the reality beyond them, an eerie quiet surrounds you inside. No corpses, no fires, no tang of ashes and blood. Only the polished granite tiles and the massive pillars holding up the ceiling and the mountain above it. Even well down into the lower layers of the city, the fighting continues. At least, that's what the din of cries, fires, and clashing axes suggests. Rera leads the way, walking fast, her eyes fixed forward. As expected, you find little sleep on the journey, and fill the nights with long walks instead. On one particular stroll, you find Cahlabrok sitting alone on the far end of the camp. You talk far into the early morning hours, sharing your hopes, your fears, and the almost illicit sense that this time, finally, you have the advantage. As dawn breaks and the rest of the Wolf Guard stirs, you feel strangely at ease. Dwarves, dark elves, and humans alike, all under one banner? If they can't stop the Crescent, who can? Tomorrow, you'll reach the Howling Steppes. Not only to stop the last corrupted and with her Jakku, but also to find answers.
Here we are. Can you lead the way to your village, Cahlabrok? We should talk to them first.
Yes, I can show you. What about the rest of our troops, though? Shouldn't we wait for them to catch up?
They'll set up camp north, near where you said the temple entrance is. We need to cover that ground if we don't want the Crescent to surprise us. Is that...
Father!
The Crescent's base is near the temple entrance, which makes sense since their main objective is probably to keep everyone away from it while they try to break in. They also have numerous outposts all over the steppes, each of them reinforced with portals, through which they send siphoned. Despite all that, I wouldn't expect them to be too defensive. They'll probably harry us with attacks, so that we don't even think about coming for the temple. To make matters worse, they even seem to have struck a bargain with the survivors of the fleshkin orcs we fought in the Crimson Mire. They're only a handful, but enough to be a threat. Now, the Wolf Guard set up camp further down the valley. The Queen's levies have also arrived and have taken up position in the Sand Prowler's old base. The question is, Who do you want to lead them?
Something forces you to halt as you set foot inside the ancient temple. A feeling. You look around, noticing the strange ornaments and unfamiliar architecture. The air itself seems fragile. Your legs tense as the plates beneath your feet suddenly seem frail as if made of glass. It is as though, by stepping through the broken gate, you left all worlds behind for another place entirely. A gateway between dream and reality.
So, this is it.
Wraith? What are you? By the... No. No, this isn't happening.
I'm sorry.
What? What do... By the... No. No, this isn't happening.
As you step into the roiling wall of light, you feel what little grasp you still had on reality slip away. Like the last bits of a dream just after waking. Everything dissolves, leaving you alone in the void of nothing.
Tiara's breath.
I guess we found Shayuk-Dead's home.
A place between dimensions. Between dream and reality.
What did you say?
Nothing, I think I know this place.
More memories, more thoughts. This time, however, you realize it's not you thinking them. It's something else. Disassembling the core of your being. Carefully turning and inspecting the pieces. You feel exposed, fragile, like your skin is turned into glass.
More of the same.
Are you sure this is how we go deeper?
Yes. We have to...
Yes, Taba Sagewa. The mayor said the orcs are headed for our village. Is that true?
Wait, was that... Malik?
I heard someone else. It must be the God of Light. He's messing with our minds. We have to... Wait. Do you hear that? Guardians, help us.
Liar! You goddamn liar! You were supposed to protect us! You gambled with our lives!
The white light enfolds you. Memories flash through your mind. From your childhood to your first days in the army. From that day in Imperia to your first audience with the Queen 2 weeks ago. You understand. This place is as much the God of Light as it is you.
There it is again.
Hello? Can you hear us?
Silence. That's also an answer.
What's going on? I can't move!
It's some kind of spell!
This time, there are neither memories nor thoughts. Your mind is blank. God of Light? Erev? Jakku? All concepts without meaning, not in this place. And yet, there it is. a glimmer in the void. This is your last chance to stop the fate that Wraith invoked. The last chance to clear your name by putting this right. You're approaching the core.
They got me. Stones, stop talking.
Ignore it. It's not real.
I know that. It drives me nuts.
Hold on. It's doing something.
You cast a last look at your companions before you step into the blue mist before you. At once, the God of Light engulfs you. White light fills your sight, and your body becomes lighter, thinner, wispier, like a cloud dispersed by a breeze. You float away.
Mother!
Just close your eyes.
No!
I warned you. There is no afterlife, Aaron. Not when Jakku is through. I made you an offer, and you refused it. Now, face the consequences.
By the... Hareth! The General is awake! Call a medic and the Queen!
Where am I?
You're in Greykeep. You're safe.
But what about the God of Light? The gate? Your Majesty?
When you first came to Greykeep, you asked me why I chose you of all people. You said that there have to be better candidates, given your past. I think I still owe you an answer, do I not?
As you please, Your Majesty.
Very well. The truth is, we all make mistakes. I cannot count how many I alone have made. The ramifications of some can be fixed. For others, they cannot. But either way, it is through our failures that we learn. And sometimes, those who have been broken know best how to mend.
The Throne Hall, the inviolable inner sanctum of Greykeep. Here lies Nortender's seat of power, the seat from which her sovereign strikes accords and passes judgment. There is a certain hush to the cavernous hall and its many passages, as if the legacy of kings and queens fills the expanse with dignified certainty. The cool, earthy air rushes to the mine's entrance like a mountain's exhale. Where once this was a hub of activity, filled with the sounds of pickaxes and creaking mining carts, it is now an empty carcass. But though the miners and laborers have long since moved on, evidence of their passing remains. Scratches on the walls to mark the passage of days. An old fire pit smothered in the thick layers of ash. And in one corner, a crude, half-completed drawing of a naked elf maiden riding a dragon. Few maps exist in the Greykeep libraries of the Laranian Swamplands. A vast underground swath of bog and marsh on the fringes of the Exalted Father's realm. It is a dark, damp, and dismal place, seldom visited by traders or travelers of any sort. Still, the region is home to several dark elven villages, its people enjoying a degree of freedom from the rigidity of life in the capital. Golden dunes rise and fall at the whims of the wind, revealing and bearing the bones of many a lost adventurer. For a lucky few who wander the sands, salvation appears on the horizon. A cluster of trees to shelter from the heat, and a small pool to quench cracked lips. But an oasis attracts more than just desperate travelers seeking a safe haven. Deep within a massive cave system is Cahlabrok, the glowing beacon in the abyss of the Laranian realm. To the untrained eye, it is a midnight wonderland, a marvel of architecture and form and function. But like any city, beneath wonder is reality. The constant surveillance of the Exalted Father's intelligence, the damp musk of the still air, the stones that have never known the warmth of the sun. For many, it is the only home they will ever know. Dusty air greets you as you step through the double-wing gate. Except for a bit of mold and rust, the old cast house is in surprisingly good shape. Still, there's no warmth to these halls, only sharp angles, metal, and stone. Hard to imagine that dozens of children once called this place home. As autumn creeps through the heartland of Fiora, signs of change are apparent even on the coast. The waves are rougher, the wind more biting, and in every seaside village, fishermen hang up their nets in favor of crab cages. With the days growing shorter, only the brave, or foolish, walk the coast alone, for danger lies both above and below the tides. Broken pottery and shattered chests litter the temple's halls, covered by a layer of undisturbed dust. The debris, along with the sealed entrance, hint at the disturbance that once befell this sacred site. And while the easy riches are long gone, there is still a sense of discovery, like a message in a bottle that washes up on a distant shore.
It's down!
Use the amulet on the other one, now!
I am!
As you walk further into the dark passage, the air grows still and stale, a stark contrast to the bracing autumn breeze you just left behind. You cough as you get a lungful of mold and decay. When at last the passage opens into a cavernous hall, you see the first of many dwarven tombs lined up against the walls. Whoever these dwarves were, they are long forgotten. Slowly but surely, the war-torn lands of the Eye are recovering. While the marshland is quieter than it once was, its villagers and merchants driven away, a few daring souls have ventured back into the region. Still, with the threat of bandits and local whispers of nightly hauntings on the old battlegrounds, it will be some time before life here is restored. Amidst the crumbling stone, traveling merchants take shelter from passing storms. Young lovers find refuge in the shadows, and the occasional scholar marvels at a history forgotten. The ruins have seen it all, and yet each moves on, drawn away to their next destination, or perhaps wary of the unease that seems to permeate the stones themselves. Desolate and austere for as far as the eye can see, the Howling Steppes carve a no-man's land into the heartland of southern Fiora. Intense storms can form with little warning on the windswept plains, but pass just as quickly, thanks to the relentless winds that define the region. Only those who wish to be forgotten linger here. A memory manifests before your eyes. The night you returned to your barracks after that fateful day. It was late, but the air was still sticky, humid, almost palpable. You sat down at your desk and stared at the blemished wood. You were still there when the sun arose,